Hey, welcome to Cooking with Abba. Today I'm going to show you two videos, air fryer specials you can make at home. Yes, one is potato mashed and then the other is Ghana's favorite jollof. And yes, let's go and see how I turn my misfortune with my potato balls into something else. Today is a story about how I turned my misfortunes into gold. So yeah, this is mashed potato, which is baked. Yes, oh my god, you can see the vibe. It is not easy. So I was going to actually make potato balls, but unfortunately what happened that day was my potatoes was too hot and I mashed too early. It was too soft and everything that could go wrong went wrong, and I had to turn things around to my good. So I have potatoes, I've got vegetables which I'm going to use onion, carrot, I've got some eggs, I've got some akabanga chili oil for that spicy kick, I've got my local spice and salt, mayo, margarine, and of course some canned beef as well, and some water. So my main idea initially was to do potato balls, but unfortunately what could go wrong went wrong, and so I'll show you what to do if you want to really get successful potato balls as well on the channel. So for this I cooked my potatoes and I'm using a smaller saucepan because I didn't want to use so much water. I wanted to make sure that my water was retained so that all my taste, my nutrients and things are also retained in there. So yes, there's about 100 ml of water. I actually added another one, so I used like 200 ml of water for the batch that I did. My local spice went in, my salt went in. I washed my eggs and placed them in because I was going to serve it with the eggs. Yes, initially I was going to eat it with the eggs, but you know, things went apart and I still had to rescue the day. So I added in the vegetables as well, and then I allowed it to cook for it to get soft and well cooked. Now the eggs, I separated 4 eggs. Yes, so I separated the yolks from the white. Yes, because my intention was to do the potato balls. Yes, and for that one you need the yolks in, but I need the whites to just mold it. So unfortunately what happened was I thought I had pressed play, and unfortunately it wasn't, and so it was on pause, so that part of the mashing wasn't actually captured. But for your potato mash, all you need is your potato masher and your bowl. So once it's cooked enough and it's soft, you pour everything in, you mash it up, the vegetables with everything in the pan, pour it in and mash it up. And then you also add in the margarine and then the mayonnaise as well. So like I said, because I mashed everything very hot and fresh, it wasn't able to firm up. Yes, and so it became a bit mushy, and I didn't really like how it was overly mushy. That wasn't going to be good for potato balls, and so what I did was rather to bake it. And so in my air fry cake pan, yes, I just poured in the white egg yolk in, then I poured the potato mash in the base, I poured my corned beef in the center, then I covered it up with the rest of the potato mash in there as well. This potato mash equally has the egg yolks in there, so every other thing is in there as well. Then I just, you know, go into my air fryer. I don't need the part in there, so I took it out. Then I put it in, and I'm going to do 180 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. That is all that you need. So by the time as it's cooking, you just let it be and then do your stuff a bit fast. So this is my air fryer accessory as well. This is my air fryer accessories. You can get these accessories from NaHett Trading. She'll get it for you as well. So if you want to do your grill, if you want to do barbecue, if you want to do pizza, if you want to bake some cupcakes, some muffins, some moi moi, you can get it with this. If you want to also do your flatbread, your pizzas, they are there. The silicone mat is also there for you to protect your surfaces as well. And what I'm using, the pan I'm using, you can also use it for your cake as well as your mashed potato bake, like I'm doing here as well. So yes, I realized the best you can do is to set it manually for the 180 degrees for 35 minutes, or you can even use the potato function there, which will give you 200 degrees Celsius for 35 minutes. Mind you, this is already cooked, but because we have a bit of fresh eggs and stuff in, and you also want it to also bake to dry out. That's why I was recommending the 180 degrees, because you want it to dry out so that you don't get it too mushy and you can still enjoy the texture in there. So once this is done, I'm just going to let it cool down, and this is good for your Thanksgiving table. This is good for the family feast. This is good for yourself. If you're dieting as well, you can really enjoy this. So this is my special potato mashed recipe, turning my disasters into fortunes, which I really did like. So yes, that was my mashed potato. Now I'm taking you to Ghana's favorite jollof rice. This is what I call the air fry special jollof rice. With this, so you need salt, you need gravy, you need rice, and you need water. I call this the 1-2-3 formula. You need 1 part of the gravy, 2 parts of the rice, 3 parts of the water. Then your bowl or your basin to actually cook it. The foil, honestly, you won't be needing it, and I'm going to show you why. So I ended up pouring the rice in, the salt in, the gravy in. I mixed it for everything to be well mixed. Now, if you're using a very loose stew or gravy which is less thick, then you'd have to obviously use more part of it and less of the water in there as well. And it's on my channel. If you want to do proper gravy for Ghana's perfect jollof, you can check it out on the channel as well. So initially, I tried it using the foil because I felt, well, an air fryer is technically like an oven. So in my mind, I was like, if you're baking jollof in the oven, for best result, you always have to foil it. So you can check my oven baked jollof, which was super perfect, super easy to do, less stressful. Honestly, if you are new to jollof or if you struggle making good jollof, the best way to go is always use the oven. And now my favorite way to go about it is to use the air fryer. So I actually double foiled it because, you know, the foil can easily tear whilst you're doing it. So I just placed a double, making sure that my handle was still there for me to be able to use. Then I just went into my air fryer. I just placed the basin in, and then I put it on. So for this basin, like I said earlier, I can use it for a lot of things, from cakes to a lot of stuff, including cooking your rice. So I just put it on using the power button, and I've showed that on the channel. And I'm just going to use the whole chicken, which is going to give you 180 degrees for 180 degrees for the 30 minutes, and that should give you good result. However, I realized that with the air fryer jollof, if you actually have the oven technique or the oven principle of foiling, it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. So when I took it out after the 30 minutes, wasted effort, the thing, yes, it was a bit warm, and the rice itself, it didn't even cook up. So I was like, boy, I've wasted 30 minutes of my time. So what then came to mind as well, you know, the air fryer doesn't heat up from the base or around it. It's more from the top. So I was like, no, let me just remix this thing and then put it back in and then do it without the foil. And honestly, this was like the way to go. This was the way to go. So I just placed it back in. So instead of using the whole chicken, I went with the sweet potato, which was 200 degrees for 35 minutes. Yes, and 7 minutes left. That was about 28 minutes done. I just remember that for jollof day, sometimes it's good to mix it up to make sure that all the stew and everything was in. And funny enough, you realize that even as I'm mixing, it's already still well in order. So this is not like the stove jollof where you have to be mixing it up. You still get good results even if you don't mix it up. This is a good thing. Yes, and for this, like I said, it's easy. It's when you're done, you don't even have kanzo, and you have kanzo, but you don't have to strain yourself even washing your basin. And you're not going to stress yourself when it comes to the cooking part. This is very easy. So if you don't know how to do jollof or you want to do stress-free jollof, this is the way to actually go. So I added some few minutes to it, and yes, I'll put the exact baking time for the two in the description button for you to check out. I added some few, about 6 or 7 minutes extra to it, which gave me a total count of 40 minutes. And yes, once it was done, this was beautiful. The thing about air fryers is because the heat is more from the top, you're going to get the kanzo from the top. So this is my top kanzo. Then the inside is going to be very much moist in there. And you realize, like I said, unlike your stove jollof, the kanzo is coming to come at the top. Unlike your oven jollof where you get the kanzo around the basin or the bowl you use for this is going to be at the very top. And trust me, it still tastes the same old good jollof. The texture is better. It's a E11 fine. And then you can enjoy it. I enjoyed mine with scrambled eggs and vegetables and some fried plantain, and it was just good. Yes. So do make it a point to actually try out these 2 recipes using the simple tips you've learned here. See you in the next food video. Do live life to the fullest, be joyous and be merry, and make sure you subscribe before you leave. Bye bye.